Right now, while you watch this video, 2 billion people around the world are doing the same thing you are. They are drinking coffee. In the morning, in the afternoon, at night, at work, at home, in cafes. Coffee has become such a natural part of life that we stopped asking the most obvious question. Where did this come from? Who first thought to take bitter berries, roast them, grind them, and pour boiling water over them? And why did kings, imams, and emperors ban this drink? While people kept drinking it anyway, why was it in coffee houses that revolutions, scientific discoveries, and stock exchanges were born? Today we explore the history of the most popular beverage on the planet. The story of coffee begins in Ethiopia. Around the 9th century, though nobody knows the exact date, a goat herder named Kaldi noticed something strange. His goats, after eating berries from a certain bush, could not sleep through the night. They jumped, ran around, and were unusually energetic. Kaldi tried the berries himself. The effect was the same. He brought the berries to a local monastery. The monks were initially suspicious, and threw the berries into the fire as something diabolical. But the fire released such an extraordinary aroma that the monks changed their minds. They retrieved the roasted beans, dissolved them in water, and drank. That night, the monks stayed awake until morning, and prayed longer than usual. Whether legend or truth, we cannot say for certain. But Ethiopia is genuinely the homeland of the coffee plant. In the 15th century, coffee reached the Arabian Peninsula, specifically Yemen, and it was here that everything changed. Yemeni Sufi monks began using coffee during nighttime prayers and meditation. The drink helped them stay awake during long spiritual practices. It was a perfect tool for people who needed to remain alert through entire nights. It was in Yemen that coffee beans were first roasted and brewed, roughly as we do today. The Yemenis also became the first to cultivate coffee plantations, and very quickly realized they were sitting on a gold mine. They classified the process as a state secret. Exporting live coffee plants or unroasted beans was strictly forbidden under penalty of death. This is where things get truly fascinating. Coffee houses, kahvehane in Turkish, were an entirely new phenomenon in human history. Before their arrival, there was no place where people could simply walk in, sit down, talk with strangers, and spend a few hours. Taverns existed, but people drank alcohol there. Mosques existed, but people prayed there. The coffee house became the first public space for conversation and the exchange of ideas. People came to play chess, listen to music, discuss politics, make trade deals, and recite poetry. Coffee houses were called schools of the wise because you could learn more news in one evening there than in a month anywhere else. And that is precisely what frightened the authorities. In 1511, coffee was banned in Mecca. The city's governor, Khair Beg, decided that coffee houses were breeding grounds for sedition and political conspiracy. Where people gather, dangerous ideas appear. Coffee reached Europe in the 17th century and immediately caused a scandal. The first coffee house in England opened in Oxford in 1650. Within 20 years, there were more than 300 in London alone. The English called coffee houses penny universities. For one coin, you received a cup of coffee and access to the best conversations in the city. In coffee houses, class distinctions dissolved. A lord sat beside a merchant. A scholar argued with a sailor. This was revolutionary in a society where everyone knew their place. In 1675, King Charles II attempted to close all coffee houses in England. The official reason, the spreading of false rumors about the government. The real reason? The king feared that his overthrow was being planned inside them. 11 days later, under the pressure of public outrage, he reversed the order. The coffee houses proved stronger than royal authority. In France, coffee houses played a direct role in the revolution. Here is a fact that very few people know. Before coffee arrived in Europe, people drank alcohol from the very first hours of the morning. Not because they were drunkards, but because water was dangerous. The rivers and wells of medieval cities were so contaminated that clean water could literally kill you. Beer and wine were safer. Alcohol destroyed the bacteria. Imagine, everyone, from peasant to king, from child to monk, began the day with weak beer. They worked all day in a light alcoholic haze. This was the norm for centuries. And then coffee arrived, a hot drink, meaning the water was boiled and therefore safe. Stimulating rather than sedating, clearing the mind rather than clouding it. The effect was remarkable. People who had previously worked in a mild stupor now worked with sharp, clear heads. Productivity rose sharply and visibly. The history of coffee is full of unexpected turns. In 1732, Johann Sebastian Bach composed the Coffee Cantata, one of the strangest works in the history of classical music. The plot is simple. A father tries to break his daughter of her coffee habit. She refuses. The cantata ends with the daughter agreeing to marry only a man who allows her to drink as much coffee as she wants. Even the great Bach could not resist the subject of coffee. And now, a fact that surprises everyone. The New York Stock Exchange, one of the most powerful financial institutions in the world, began as a coffee house. In 1792, a group of brokers gathered under a buttonwood tree on Wall Street and signed an agreement to trade securities. Their favorite meeting place was the Tontine Coffee House. From those meetings, the NYSE grew. Meanwhile, a war for monopoly was unfolding. Today, coffee is the second most traded commodity in the world after oil. Every day, people drink more than 2 billion cups. The global coffee industry is valued at over $100 billion. Brazil produces 1/3 of all the world's coffee. Ethiopia, where it all began, remains one of the largest producers. Finland consumes more coffee per capita than any other country. The average Finn drinks 4 to 5 cups per day. There is even a specialty coffee, Kopi Luwak, produced in Indonesia. The beans are eaten by a small animal called the Asian palm civet, pass through its digestive system, and are then collected. The price of this coffee reaches up to $700 per kilogram. It is the most expensive coffee in the world. Today there are thousands of varieties, preparation methods, and coffee cultures. Espresso in Italy, Turkish coffee in the Middle East, cold brew in America, coffee with cardamom in Arab countries. Every culture has made this drink its own. Coffee has traveled from Ethiopian goats to the second most valuable commodity on the planet. Over 1,000 years, it was medicine and poison, sacred drink and diabolical brew. Kings and imams banned it, and every time, they lost. Because coffee gave people more than alertness. It gave them a place to meet, to talk, and to exchange ideas. Revolutions, stock exchanges, scientific discoveries, great music, all of it was brewed in coffee houses. The next time you hold a cup of coffee, remember, in that drink sits 1,000 years of history. An Ethiopian shepherd and his goats, Yemeni monks praying through the night, French revolutionaries changing the world over a cafe table, and one French officer who gave half his water ration to a single seedling in the open ocean. All of it in your cup. If you enjoyed this, subscribe and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.